Today was kind of a busy day, so this episode's probably going to be a little shorter than usual. But I want to start by going over some recent news and new information. Yesterday, Niantic CEO John Hanke was interviewed by TechCrunch, and he shared some information that gives some interesting insight into the current plans and future plans for Pokémon GO. Hanke says they're working hard to get the game rolled out to the rest of the world, regions that don't have it yet, including India, South Asia, parts of Africa, and he wouldn't say which region is getting the game next, but he did say that they're working closely with the government there to make sure everything gets done smoothly. And that's actually fascinating to me, that this game is such a huge phenomenon. It's unlike anything that's ever been done before, especially at this scale, and it's just crazy to me that Niantic actually has to work with the government of a country to get the game launched there. He says that Niantic is currently hiring more people, but that the process is slow because everyone is working so hard on the game. And remember, Niantic is actually a pretty small company. He says they only have about 70 employees, which is tiny when you consider that they've put out a product that's been downloaded by hundreds of millions of people. So just keep that in mind when it seems like things are moving slowly or that they're not paying attention. They really do have a lot on their plate right now. Hanke confirmed that Pokémon GO on the Apple Watch is not exclusive and that it's very likely that it'll be coming to Android Wear, which is good news for me because I need a new watch. The biggest piece of information to come out of this interview, in my opinion, has to do with Niantic's plans for adding PvP to the game. The interviewer asked about it, and John Hanke says it's probably something that will make it onto our roadmap. A roadmap for a software company typically outlines their plans for the next couple of years. So what that means is PvP is not currently planned for at least the next year, possibly more than that. So right now, no one at Niantic is currently working on, planning for, or probably even thinking about adding PvP to the game. So we just have to be patient. It's something that they think will probably come eventually, but right now they're not planning or preparing for it. Now PvP is obviously something that I think needs to come to the game for the sake of long-term player engagement, but Hanke went on to talk about Niantic's other plans to keep people interested. Hanke used Niantic's other game, Ingress, as an example. Just like Pokemon GO, it's a massively multiplayer, real-world game, so the social aspect of the game is a huge driving factor in player engagement. There are obviously some features like trading and PvP that would help promote social behavior among players, but Hanke goes on to talk more about Niantic's plans for events in the future. The host asks about adding new Pokemon as a way of keeping people interested in the game, and Hanke says it was always the plan to add more Pokemon, but then goes on to talk more about events. He says that there are certain Pokemon that are highly coveted by people that'll get people excited when they show up in the game, and says that these events are a perfect way to showcase the introduction of new Pokemon. To me, that sounds more like they're going to be showcasing legendaries at the events rather than new generations of Pokemon. He talks a little bit about how difficult it is to organize these events. I mean, when you think about it, it's probably going to be tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Pokemon GO players converging onto one public location. So that takes a lot of organization, a lot of permits, a lot of planning ahead of time to get that done. So I don't see the first legendary Pokemon events happening for at least a few months. And I know my first estimate was that second generation was going to be released sometime around the holidays, before Christmas, but I'm starting to think, because of the way that John Hanke is talking about the future of Pokemon GO in terms of years and not months, that second generation might not come until much later than that. So overall, there is a lot planned for the future of Pokemon GO. Hanke says that they've only scratched the surface of the gameplay that they want to create. But remember, they're talking about the future of the game in terms of years. So we might see a lot of smaller updates like the IV appraisal system and the buddy system over the coming months, but bigger things like trading, PvP, new generations of Pokemon, and legendaries might take a little bit longer than we expected. And personally, I'm okay with that. As I've said before, the longer this game lasts, the better, and I'm really excited to see what Niantic has planned for the future. Now, let's get on with the rest of the day. I just dropped off the rental and picked up my car. You know, it's nice to have my own car back, but I'm gonna miss that working radio. I'm in downtown LA at the Great Company, meeting with Dante today, just to go over stuff for his channel again.
And I love how many Pokestops there are right around here. Nope, mural. I don't think this one's here anymore. That's one. How about this guy? Slobbering graffiti monster. He's over here. And, you know, I saw this Magmar on the sightings, and I'm thinking about going to find it, but I'm already a little bit late. Lucky for me, it's right here, hanging out at the Great Company. 1180, sweet. Got it. That's my second Magmar, and my first one has really good IVs, but only like 150 CP. So this one, Ember Flamethrower, not a bad moveset, and decent IVs. Not bad. Pretty okay with that. I won't be powering it up, most likely, but it is nice to have a decent fire type attacker at, you know, 1100 CP. That's good for training up gyms. That's good for taking down some grass type Pokemon. Now, one more Pokestop. Yo.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, you got my charger?
I do.
I just saw it.
You see it right there?
I was looking at it like, where's that charger? I don't know. I just bought it. It's called the Misfit Ray.
Yo, check this out.
You no phone? No watch? What happened?
I lost it.
What's up, y'all? This is Dante Bosco. I just want to let everybody out there know that I'm so excited to go back to Canada and go to one of my favorite cities in Canada, Toronto, to attend this year's Unplugged.
Just finished up here with Dante.
The music director from my pole gathering just hit me up. So I'll be from October 14th to October 16th.
Alright, I'm about to go get something to eat with Cassie. First meal of the day for me.
More Asian food.
More Asian food.
Samurai Sora.
Alright, Cassie just put a lure module on while we're sitting here eating. Ekans. That's not that exciting. See if anything interesting shows up. Check it out. This is the wishing tree in Little Tokyo. People write their wishes on these papers. Don't worry, dude. I take it seriously. It's been a while since I've battled the gym here on the channel, so are you battling it already? She's battling it already. I'm gonna try out some of my weaker Pokemon that might be decent counters to these top tier Pokemon, specifically Lapras and Dragonite. Magneton for the Lapras, and I'm gonna try some of my Pokemon with Ice type moves. I'm gonna try Wigglytuff also with a Fairy type move, but I do have Cloyster with 2 Ice type moves. So I'm gonna try these out, and then I'm gonna throw, you know, some stuff in there for backup in case I need it. Let's see how it goes. I don't know what happened there. We won though. That was fun. As weird and glitchy as it was at the end.
I'm back home now, and before I end the episode, I just wanted to open this package. It's from a dentist. Anthony T. Chiodo, DDS. Dear Nick, I hope this letter finds you well and rested. Please accept these small gifts as a sign of appreciation for all the hard work you do on the YouTube channel. Beginning of this year, I was diagnosed with stage 3 soft tissue sarcoma. So while I was looking for a distraction, I found Pokémon GO. Feeling totally lost, I looked for assistance, found your channel. Then I watched episode 29, the one about your grandfather. You touched my heart and showed the world what a good soul you are. I learned something very important from that episode, that it's okay to die when you know you will live on through the memories of your family. If I make it to heaven, Nick, I plan on giving your grandfather a hug and thanking him for playing a part in your life. Anthony T. Chiodo. Anthony, thank you. This is incredibly meaningful to me. Thank you so much. You know, you guys, things like this are part of the reason that I do this. As a creator, you always wonder if what you're doing is having an impact on anyone, and to hear this story, it just really means a lot to me. So Anthony, thank you so much, and honestly, I wish you the very best. I hope that everything works out for you. Again, just thank you. Now, check this out. Look at that. Pikachu toothbrush. It says kids, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Oral hygiene. Anthony, you'll be happy to know that I've actually never had a cavity in my life. Can you believe that? So, thank you. Big one. Even more. 3 Pikachu toothbrushes. You want one? Cassie's gonna use one too. And Chance. You know what? Me, Cassie, Chance. Perfect. This is awesome. Again, Anthony, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I really hope everything works out for you. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Last week, we talked about how Alakazam is underpowered because speed is underrepresented in Pokemon GO. But there's actually another factor at work. Alakazam has 135 base special attack, which is the highest special attack stat in first generation aside from Mewtwo. Alakazam's base attack is only 50, And because Pokemon Go comes up with an attack stat by essentially averaging a Pokemon's attack and special attack stats together, Alakazam comes out way underpowered.